And we're back. This is the SilmFilm script discussion, season 2, episode 7, part 3. So we're kind of making our way through Act 1 so far, kind of a little bit, maybe. Rachel had according to her, a really random thought. So there are silver willows beside Muriel's dead body in Lorien. Should we do anything with that, kind of linking the silver to the light of the trees when Feanor visits her? I know, really random thought. Well, the light of Telperion, really, I mean, these aren't lit trees, but I feel like that's a set decorator's question.
But it can be used to choose the time of day, because with Valinor, the lighting changes based on the waxing and waning of the trees. So under the light of Telperion might be when Feanor visits his mother, and you get to see the silvery light on the silvery willow tree, and you could do something with that.
Okay.
It might make it more like at night.
So as Alex said, tree light, yes. Assumed all Valinor's scenes are time stamped. As Alex is saying, that we need to get to an inciting incident in Act 1, something where Feanor realizes just how much he hates Indis.
Is Feanor going to hate Indis before Indis and Finwë are a couple?
Well, we got to establish it in Act 1 if it's our conflict.
Right. So are they already a couple in Act 1?
That's fast.
Well, we need them to be probably married by the end of Act 2.
Which means the marriage happens in Act 1. That's a lot.
No. The marriage wouldn't happen yet. When I said a couple, I meant...
No. Alex is saying that.
Oh.
That's really fast.
That's a little too fast, because what they're trying to do is pretty taboo and probably takes a while, and a lot of people being disapproving and stuff.
Right.
So we probably can't get to the actual marriage of Finwë and Indis until...
But there's got to be something that she does that ticks him off before then.
Well, becoming interested in his father would do the trick.
Right. Well, that's kind of...
The question is it something else? Is there something else about her he doesn't like that starts it all?
Well... hang on. Finwë is all about long engagements, apparently.
Yeah, apparently, yes. Well, his wishy-washiness of never making up his mind very forcefully,
The problem, Rachel, is if he doesn't hate her, I don't know, if there's no antagonism between the two of them in Act 1, we're still not getting into the story, is the problem there. So there has to be something. There has to be some kind of antagonism between Indis and Finwë. All right. It's got to be something along the... she's taking his dad away. Well, that's what I'm thinking. It's got to be something along the lines of Feanor is used to having Finwë's full attention whenever he's around, because Finwë is all sad for Feanor not having a mom, and is, he's trying to be the bestest dad that ever was as a result.
Well, I get the impression that, Finwë and Feanor spent a lot of time together and have developed a pretty close relationship at this point. So his dad suddenly taking interest in somebody else would be very noticeable to Feanor.
Yeah.
And Finwë might not notice that he's spending his time elsewhere now. Sometimes happens when people get into a relationship, they don't notice they haven't talked to their friends for 3 months.
Right, yes. Yeah.
Some people do that.
Mm-hmm.
So if Finwë is that kind of person, then he would possibly get interested in Indis and severely cut back on his Feanor time, which Feanor would respond to negatively.
And Alex is saying something that Brandon is also saying-ish. They're somewhat connected. She comes in, and as per her dad's nudge, tries to provide a little more structure for him. A whole "you're not my mom" thing, which is typical but makes sense. Brandon says, is she perhaps the one that he associates with people trying to limit his creativity?
Okay.
Which I think has, I think that has some merit to it, because that's exactly why she's there, ostensibly. Like after Ingwe's whole little spiel about it, Brandon's is better, Alex says. Wow, that's high praise, Brandon. But it's still kind of a "you're not my mom" thing to, at some point there.
Yes, I think both go together. But the what is Indis trying to accomplish, and why is Feanor so annoyed with it, and the whole limiting of his creativity would be something he'd respond to very strongly.
Right.
So, and a teenager saying "you're not my mom," that fits.
Yeah. So what
obviously sets up.
What do you? I mean, do we care what he's doing in this case? What he's doing that she tries to kind of put a slowdown on?
He could think of something and be running around the house grabbing implements to use in his project, and she can be like, "What are you doing? You can't just grab all this stuff." And that's right. His response would be, "You don't live here. This isn't your stuff. You're not in charge of it."
Well, it could be. So what if? So she comes to Tyrion to visit with them.
Yes.
Finwë greets her as glad news. Like she's, she's welcome as good news. Actually, is the wording I was looking for. And so there's this idea that she's going to be staying for a while.
Yeah, she just came to visit for a bit, and elves visit for 20 years. Like that's
right.
Thing.
Yes. We do care. Ideally, it should be something that she sees as dangerous, but he and the audience know, in fact, it's awesome. Yes. What? He can't. Can he blow something else up? I mean, he just blew something else up.
Presumably, the blowing something up was an unfortunate side effect of whatever he was really trying to do the first time. So he could be trying to create a particular alloy of different metals. He could be making a better lighthouse. I mean, I'm trying to think. Well, Alcalande's being built right now.
Creating some kind of like pseudoscience light source.
That's a little too. Well, I mean, that's obviously something he's interested in.
And it's possible that it's something he has completely under control this time. And she is like, well, hold on. Don't you think you should talk to your father about this? Blah, 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 blah. And then, and he jumps down her throat about it. She has reasonable carbon, and lots of pressure equals diamonds.
Yeah.
That's an
gem making needs to show up multiple times in this
that's
season,
not a bad idea.
Sure. Okay. I agree that actual homemade diamonds would be pretty dangerous. So
yeah,
she might realize what he's doing and try to stop him. Yeah, that fits. Okay, so he's making artificial gems, and it would involve a furnace and a pressurized vessel and things like that.
And her concern could be seem reasonable to anybody who doesn't know that this is the person who's going to be the greatest craftsman that ever lived. Because it should look a little slipshod.
Well, he should be doing this in a non-workroom environment.
Right.
Like in the kitchen or in the basement or...
Yes. And she...
he's...
Go on.
I was going to say, so she walks in on what she thinks is a dangerous experiment with no controls in place and no safety in place.
Right.
Yeah, or out in the courtyard in front of the house or something. It's something odd about the location and the material should make it clear that Feanor is experimenting and trying things out, but he's not an expert craftsman.
Right.
He's a child.
Right. And the construction of the device should look really slipshod, and it should be shaking, and
right. This is like college kids trying to set up to brew their own beer in their dorm room. And
right. Exactly. Yes.
Ends badly, and you get a lot of smelly beer all over the floor.
Except it would be really interesting if it doesn't end badly, and as part of his diatribe against her, he pulls the finished product out.
Yeah.
It'd be like what is your problem? What is wrong with you? You know?
Yeah.
How the Jet Propulsion Labs got founded. They blew up their dorm room.
Yeah, I mean, I might know some of these college kids who do stuff like this. That was not a random example. But
I once made a hot air lifting device out in my front yard. The neighbors were quite concerned. I was trying to climb a tree that had its branches about 12 feet in the air. So I designed this like parachute and set a fire near the base of the tree in a suburban neighborhood, and held it over and was trying to get enough. It was kind of working a little bit, but
if you put no weight on it, that works. You can make a hot air balloon. It doesn't carry a load very easily.
Your chemistry teacher accused you of a war.
Oops. That's why you don't play with electricity. But
well, actually, Alex plays with all manner of dangerous things now. That's interesting. Anyway, so yes, he kind of like he shows her
enough heat, and you'll separate it. But
so he shows her the thing and yells at her for trying to be his mom. She's not his mom. Back off. Blah 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 blah. So there's going to be this antagonism here. It seems like it's fairly obvious that this is not communicated to Finwë in any way, because they still get married.
Right. This is a private thing between the two of them.
Right.
And when Finwë's around, Feanor's on better behavior.
Yeah, because
Feanor likes his dad. He gets along with his dad.
Yes. He's out doing king stuff when this happens.
Yeah. Well, he could be working with the Teleri. They're trying to build Alkaland, and the Noldor are involved in that. Finwë's their king.
Right. And we can set that up.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. So, yeah, I like king stuff. I don't know how arduous a task it is to be the king of the elves in Valinor.
Presumably, there's not
a very time-consuming job.
Well, presumably, there's not a lot of disagreements that you need to listen to and make judgment on.
No. You probably
since it's the Noldor,
do other stuff.
I'm picturing it's the urban development, the building projects that you have to run.
Yes. Yeah, you're more of a foreman.
Tax code, Alex. No, I don't think they pay taxes.
So we've established that that Finwë is actually a town supervisor, always an admiral, and Ingwë's the Pope.
Unfortunately, yeah, I think that was the direction we were going in with all this.
All right. Anyway, so all right, so that gives us Act 1.
Yes.
In Act 2, we have to get Finwë and Indis
married.
Finwë
and Indis become a couple now.
Yes. How do we arrange that?
Good question.
The wedding is the end of Act 2. I feel like that's definitely the midpoint of the episode.
Yeah, probably.
So how do we get there is the question. Because we got to make this believable.
Right. I think it should be assumed.
It's a little sour, plain, and tall right now, actually.
It's a little what?
It's a little sour, plain, and tall right now.
Oh,
we get the whole statue thing, yes, but we need to get there. We need to get to the point where Finwë
what are
the
steps in this? Because we know that the Valar are going to make a ruling. We know Muriel's going to give her blessing. We know Indis and Finwë are going to get married, but we don't know why Indis and Finwë like each other, and we don't know who initiates the let's talk to the Valar and get an exception.
Right.
Like, well, we've decided it should be Indis, but we don't know why she's doing that. So we have to.
We need to get there first.
Yeah, we need to figure out why Finwë and Indis decide they want to be a couple. Like, they're living in the same house at this point because Indis is visiting Finwë's house. I mean, there's a whole household. It's not like it's just Indis.
Yeah,
Finwë.
No. That's I'm aware that that's
drunk one night. Oh my goodness! Then guess what? Feanor wasn't making diamonds; he was making mead, and it was really strong. And we're not using that. But it'd be funny.
Did you just make a suggestion just to be funny, Marie?
Well, I was thinking earlier about what else the Noldor could be making, and I realized that we probably should invent Mirrorvor at some point.
Yeah.
But Feanor does not need to invent Mirrorvor. Like, Feanor invents everything, so somebody else can make Mirrorvor.
Yes. All right. So what if it's something that Indis does that does not involve Feanor? What if?
Yes, it should be.
she does something where Finwë's like, she would be an awesome queen. What's she good at? We don't know anything about her. She's got yellow hair.
She's blonde.
She's very pretty and very blonde.
And she's everything Muriel wasn't.
That's true.
Actually. So, the whole point is that she's very much not Muriel.
Muriel's a little bit of a hothead. What if Indis is a caregiver?
Yes. So someone who can calm down a situation, someone who can... don't read that comment. Someone who is level-headed and can reason with the Noldor. So Indis could be out and about in Tirion because she's visiting, so she probably is visiting other Noldor who aren't Finwë, right?
Mm-hmm.
And something happens. There's some form of conflict or whatever, and she kind of takes control of the situation, but in a very calm way of, okay, let's just all get this sorted out here. And everyone's happy at the end of it. And Finwë happens to come by and see this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what could they be fighting over? I don't know. Like, someone's horse and cart runs into somebody else's vegetable stand. I don't know.
I mean, it could be something simple like that. It could be a labor dispute.
Right. Yeah,
that gets out of hand. And something kingly, and she sorts it right out for him. Could it be a trouble he's having with something kingly? Okay. It could. Okay, that makes labor dispute go right up to the top of the list then.
Yeah. Something involving Aqualande, because I want Aqualande in here.
Right. So it's a problem where Finwë's having. I mean, do the elves really need anything that badly that they need to be compensated properly, or are they going to be complaining about work hours or something, or working conditions?
I think not.
Cabbages.
But the Teleri probably are not very
organized,
hard workers, and not organized laborers. So if the Teleri are involved in a construction project, it's going to take 5 times as long as you thought it would.
Yes.
It's not going to follow the design. So if the Noldor are like the architects,
Noldor workers can't work with the Teleri workers because they just can't deal with them. They're like, stop putting my hammer over there. It goes over here. Clearly, you see the outline in the spot where it's supposed to go. Why would you put it over here?
Yes. Or if the Noldor are the architects, they've designed the city for their friends, and the Teleri are just building things by slapping things left and right everywhere and not following the design at all, which is what the Teleri would do.
Right.
Then that would cause frustration on the part of the Noldor who are trying to run the project. But it's the Teleri's project, so they can't run it. So it's like the Germans trying to work with Brits. Yeah, exactly. Germans
it sounds more
have
like the Germans trying to work with the French.
But Germans have the reputation for being very organized and having everything figured out. And anybody in comparison is going to look less efficient. Yeah, it's a well-deserved reputation. It's just, if we're going to say, let's go with a stereotype, I want to make sure that we've established what the stereotype is.
Okay. Yeah, let's take a break real quick. We'll be back in a second if you're watching this live. If you're watching this on YouTube later, hello, future people. Feel free to like and share the videos if you like and want to share them. And subscribe if you want. But you should, because the stuff is awesome. I don't know why you wouldn't. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. Bye.